Welcome, hello. How are you guys? Good? Yeah? Well, welcome. My name's Aaron Keith. For those of you who don't know me, I'm going to be leading tonight. First of all, thank you guys for being here. I know some of you had to move around some serious scheduling to be here. Emails, kids, traffic. Thank you for working things out to be here tonight. I really appreciate it. Now, before we kind of get into the content, I want to get a sense of who's in the room. How many of you have been to one of the seminars before? So this side of the room. Really welcome. Thanks for being here. Thanks for making it. How many of this is your first time with us? All right. Welcome. If you need anything in here tonight, let me know. You can also see Randy in the back of the room. She'll take care of you. Randy. Everyone see Randy? Turn around. That's Randy. Woohoo. So if you need anything, bathrooms, pen, paper, see Randy. She'll hook you up.
Parking tickets validated?
Yeah. Anyone not turn in a parking ticket? We're going to validate it for you, so if you want it, just turn it in the back of the room before you leave tonight, and we'll get that handled for you. Now, before we get into the content a little bit more, I want to go over why these seminars exist. So I created these seminars selfishly so I could do what I love to do. I like to work with business owners on how to grow and expand their business. It's one of the favorite conversations I get to have. I could do it for hours and hours and hours. So I want to have a place once a month where I could really do that with people. So I created a seminar series. Now, another reason is for business owners, it is really, really important that you spend time working on your business and not just in your business. So this gives you a format in which to do that. Does that make sense? There's so many of us, we get mired down by our craft, by what we do, that's what we spend our time doing. We stop and we sometimes forget that we're actually entrepreneurs, we're business owners, and we need to step back and work on our business from time to time. So we do this every single month, really like a structure, so that we make time to work on our companies from time to time. Now, another reason I wanted to kind of do this more in a seminar setting like this is so that y'all can network. As business owners, it's very important that we're always meeting new business owners. We're meeting new people, new contacts. It's what makes us all work, all of us to thrive. Does that make sense? So this gives you an opportunity to meet a lot of different business owners from all around San Diego that you guys can network with. Now, when I say network, I don't just mean do business with. I mean, if you can do business with people here, awesome, that's great. But that's not the primary purpose. What do you think I mean? What do you think the primary purpose is of networking here? Yeah?
Creating relationships.
Absolutely, creating relationships. You want resources. If you need an attorney, do you know another attorney? If there's somebody, do you need a bookkeeper? Do you need this? Do you need that? The more people you know, the more people you're connected to, the stronger and more stable your business becomes. So this taps you into a community of like-minded individuals around San Diego. Make sense?
Yes.
All right. Couple more things. This is for the people who have not been here before. I like to talk about business. It's one of my favorite things to do. So I might talk a mile a minute. There's 10 million things I want to get out of my head. So if I'm talking a mile a minute, like I am right now, you've got to slow me down. Deal? Slow me down. Just raise your hand. Say, hey, can you say that again? I'll start talking a mile a minute. Also, I listen with my face. So if you're sharing and I'm like this, I'm really actually doing okay. This is my listening face. I get really serious when I listen. I promise everything's okay to smile. I will completely lighten up. Deal? All right, with that in mind, let's get to work. Who will be willing to stand up and read the intention that we're out to fulfill on tonight? I will pick someone. Oh, the first hand I saw. Please. All the way to the front of the room here.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
My name is Stephanie Arlena. I'm an inspirational coach, speaker, and writer. So that you have access to authentic motivation by connecting your business's growth to the experiences in life that you are committed to having.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Hold on. The first time kind of hits us. Second time we're going to let it really wash all over us, let it really absorb. Because we have to fulfill on this tonight. So one more time, please. Nice and loud.
That you have access to authentic motivation by connecting your business's growth to the experiences in life that you are committed to having.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So what do you all hear inside that intention? Yeah.
The tie between your personal and your professional.
Well, one more time, nice and loud. So you guys share tonight, nice and loud so we can all hear. One more time.
It's a tie between your personal and your professional life.
A tie between your personal and professional life. Absolutely, great. Well said. Yeah.
Finding something that motivates you outside your business will bring growth within your business, something to work towards.
Interesting, yes. Absolutely part of that. What else? Yeah, in the back, Shane.
So not just being all about like, all right, what's my financial target for this month, but like connecting it to something more than a number.
Yes.
Something bigger.
Something bigger. Absolutely. That's a very critical part of this. All right, this side of the room's winning. Someone over here, come on. I will call on you. This is a full contact seminar.
I feel like not only finding something you're passionate in life about doing and taking that into the workplace, but marrying the two and not, like Shane said, just focusing on the bottom line, but really making it, making your work a family and an environment to grow and thrive in, to not only grow yourself and the family of your business, but the business itself.
Well said. Yeah, absolutely. So that's what we're about to fill on tonight. Make sense? All right. So since we're starting with motivation, let's actually define the word. So here's what Webster says the definition of motivation is. It's a pretty sexy definition, I'm going to warn you. Definition: desire to do, interest or drive, incentive, the process that arouses, sustains, and regulates human behavior, providing a reason to act in a certain way. Let me do that again?
Yeah.
All right. Desire to do, interest or drive, incentive, the process of arouses, the process that arouses, sustains, and regulates human behavior, providing a reason to act in a certain way. Pretty good definition, right? Yeah. So if that's the definition we're going to work with for a little bit, what motivates you all? What motivates you?
Vacation.
Vacation? Okay.
Family time.
Family time.
Money.
Money. Okay. Family time, motivation, money.
Flexibility.
Flexibility.
Helping others.
Helping others.
Freedom.
Freedom. Shane?
Doing something I enjoy doing
Doing something that you enjoy doing
as my work.
as your work. Okay. Good. Yeah.
Stability.
Stability.
A sense of fulfillment.
Sense of fulfillment. Okay, good. What else?
A new house.
A new house. What else?
Alexis.
Alexis. Okay, great. Love it. Yeah.
Spending time with people I like.
Spending time with people you like. Okay, good. What else?
Creative expression, creativity.
Creative expression, creativity. Okay, good. So we could go on for a little bit, yes? So if we just take what you all said and we sum it up, there's something you're going to notice. Think back to what everyone said. A lot of one-word answers, right? Lexus, money, family time. That's actually really vague. Think about that for a second. That's pretty vague. What happens when we're vague?
It's not clear.
It's not clear what?
Not much.
Not much. When something's vague, it becomes an illusion or a delusion. If it's vague, if it's undefined, or not specific and clear, it's an illusion or delusion. Have you ever tried chasing an illusion or delusion? How does that usually turn out? Not so well, right? And your motivation then fades, because what you're connected to is an illusion delusion versus authentic motivation. Does that make sense? It's a really important part. It happens to a lot of business owners, a lot of people. Actually, let me put this in before we get too far going here. I'm going to use the word business for most of tonight. If you have a job, how many of you have a job? Okay, good. So if I say business, just insert job. Same exact context. If it doesn't make sense, like you can't make that bridge, just raise your hand. I'll make the correlation or I'll tweak it so it fits. Does that make sense? Okay. It's really important to get this. If we want motivation, like authentic motivation that's going to stand the test of time, we need to create it properly. If it's an illusion delusion, we're going to end up unfulfilled. Have you ever tried building something without motivation? Remember Mom used to say clean your room? That's doing something without motivation. Some of you giggle, but think about your businesses. I know some of you in here personally, and building your business is kind of occurring that way, like Mom said, clean your room. Anyone want to be honest about that? Right? That's how burnout happens, by the way. That's how burnout happens. All right, so there's a lot of different types of motivation, so let's start talking about them. The first one I want to talk about is ego-based motivation. Now, let me set the stage here. There's no bad motivators. They're all different. They have different patterns to them, different expressions to them. Motivation is motivation. They all have their place, so we're not going to be judging and evaluating them. They're just different. So ego-based motivation. What are some ego-based motivations or motivators? Yeah, Renee.
Be in charge.
What's that?
The person would say, I can be in charge. I don't have a job. I don't have to answer to anybody. I have my own thing going.
Yep. Anyone in here did that? They started their business because they want to be in charge. They want anyone bossing them around? I should raise my hand too. Yeah, absolutely. Very good. Not a bad thing. What are some other ego-based motivations? Yeah.
Bigger house or the car.
The American dream. Got to be like the Joneses, right? Got a bigger car, bigger house. Yeah. Okay, good. What about fear-based motivation? Yeah.
I don't want to be poor.
I don't want to be poor. Huge. What else?
Got to put food on the table.
Got to put food on the table. Good. What else? Yeah, Randy.
Want to look good.
Want to look good. That's only a few people in here probably have that one. Probably not that many. But we'll use it. We'll use it. It's a good one. We'll take it. What else? What's another one?
You want to prove yourself?
You want to prove yourself. Mm-hmm. That's a common one, absolutely. What about competitive motivation? What are some examples of competitive motivation?
I can do it better.
I can do it better. Shane?
Say be better than anyone else in your field.
Be better than anyone else in your field. You're going to monopolize it. What else?
Being respected in your field.
Be respected in your field. Be looked up to. Some admiration. Okay. You're smiling a lot when you said that one, Shannon. How about short-term motivation? What are some examples of short-term?
Saving for a car.
Saving for a car.
Paying off debt.
Paying off debt.
Vacation.
Yeah, I mean, long-term motivation for some. Depends on, I guess it depends on the debt, right? See my context around it. Long-term. Yeah. Okay, good. Absolutely. Like, short-term motivation can also be like golf clubs. Need golf clubs. Oh, everyone's going to Vegas. Need to get some money so I can get to the trip, get to the flight. So what are some long-term motivators?
Retirement.
Retirement. Big one. We're going to be talking about that one tonight. What else?
Do you like kids' college fund?
Kids' college fund. Absolutely. Randy?
Education.
Education. Yep, it's a big one. What else?
Financial freedom.
Financial freedom. Not having to work. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Randy.
This is long-term for me. The body of my dreams.
The body of your dreams. Long-term motivation.
Long-term.
Hey, whatever it is. So we're looking at the different kinds of motivation. Again, you don't want to judge these. None of them are any better than the next. They're just different. Okay? They're just different. They can be very powerful. Fear-based motivation is very powerful. A lot of things in our world has changed because of it. Ego-based motivation, again, great things have happened because of it. What we're looking for in our motivation is a stability. We're looking for a particular quality right now. So again, those are all great motivators. We're not going to be necessarily using those tonight. We're going to be working with a different kind of motivation tonight. What we're looking for is a more stable quality. We want a quality that's going to stand the test of time, so to speak. That's going to be with us and not leave. Because with a lot of these motivators that we just talked about, when things get hard, your ego motivation doesn't always show up to the game. Does that make sense? But when you have a motivator that's authentic and true to you, it tends to be more stable, more consistent. Does that make sense? Okay. So tonight, I want to talk about authentic motivation. That's why it's on the intention. Yeah?
What about death? It's pending. I mean, we're going to die, and it's stable. It's there. So it could be a motivator.
Yeah?
Like you might have an upcoming surgery, and you know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Say cancer removal or something like that. So,
Sure.
So motivator to that point.
Absolutely.
I don't know. Stable.
Stable, yeah. Sure. Short term?
Short term or long term? Yeah.
It depends. Well, here's the thing. Everyone in this room is most likely going to die, as far as we know.
Right.
And we could probably make an assertion that most people in this room aren't motivated by it.
Really?
Be honest. How many of you have been present today that you're going to die and that you actually gained motivation from that? Okay. There's a couple people in the room. Yeah, it's whatever works. And again, that's the thing is we're looking for whatever motivates you. And none of them are better or worse than another. Tonight we're just looking for a particular one called authentic motivation. Just a particular one. And they're all powerful. You know, being really competitive is an awesome motivator. Fear of being able to, put food on the table, massive motivator. Massive, right? Not better or worse than any other ones. It's just a particular strand, so to speak. Yeah, no, great question. Well said. So we're going to look at authentic motivation. So I want to define that for you guys. So this is how I define it in my company. So authentic motivation. When you are emotionally engaged in achieving an outcome that is aligned with your values, including your personal integrity, the willingness to stay in action. Want me to say it one more time?
Yes.
Okay. So authentic motivation. When you are emotionally engaged in achieving an outcome that is aligned with your values, including your personal integrity, the willingness to stay in action. As business owners, authentic motivation comes from tying the growth of your business to the experiences of life that you all are really committed to. That's what we want to do here. We want to take the experiences of your life that you're really committed to having, right? And tying those things back to the growth of your business. Why would I say that?
Because it has value to us. It means something to us to have this concrete thing of what we our desire, and to pipe it into our business.
Okay.
It's going to motivate us to show up for ourselves and our business and our desires.
Why would it motivate us?
You can forever say that you need money, but until you define...
Wait, a little louder. Start over a little bit louder. It's fine.
Sorry, just come back. You can forever say that you need money, but until you define what it is that you need the money for, you're just chasing something. It's a delusion, I guess.
Correct. That's what we want to start to uncover in here. Is a lot of us, we haven't really defined our life. We haven't actually sat down and figured out the details of what exactly we really wanted. And then bridge that back to the growth of our businesses or the growth in our jobs. But if you actually tie the growth of your business or you excelling in your job to everything in life that you're really, no kidding, committed to, you will see something transform and shift. Does that make sense? And it's stable. It's really, really stable because it's there with you for the long run. Is that making sense? Is that landing? Anyone have any questions yet? No. Okay. Make sure I did not miss anything. Yeah, shoot.
So by that definition, then it wouldn't be a short-term motivation then,
Could be.
right?
No, it could be.
Oh, it could?
It could be short-term. It could be long-term. It actually expresses all of it. Think about this. It's a great, great question. Think about this. And we're actually going to do this work, so I'm not going to say a ton about this because we're actually going to literally do this. But if you think about it, if you designed your life, let's say in the area of relationships, right? You might actually be experiencing some of the things you designed right now, correct? Mm-hmm. And there may be some things that you haven't experienced yet that you're working toward. So some of the things that she may be working toward might be short term. Some of them may be long term. That's the beauty. And we're going to get into this in a lot of detail tonight. When you're looking at designing your life, some of it is right now. Some of it's like you can get it in the next couple weeks. Some of it's a year from now. Some of it's 10 years from now. That's part of the work. That's why it's such consistent motivation, is because it almost like trickles into your life ongoingly. Make sense? Until you've experienced the full expression of it. Is that landing?
I'm trying to make it land, let's say.
Yeah.
So for example, the guy who invented Stash Tea, I don't know if everyone's heard of Stash Tea, invented it. He just loves tea. He has a passion for this. He wants to share that passion. Well, once he made it a great brand or whatever, he sold it off, and then he invented Tazo tea, which Starbucks now owns. So I see that as kind of an authentic passion. It could be short term because he made one great brand and one great tea, and you know, it was finished and settled, and someone wanted to buy it and have it as their own.
Right.
And then started another one. Still has that authentic passion, yet we're on to another goal.
Okay. Yeah. It moves. It changes. All I'm saying is, and this is what you want to hear at this stage, when you engage in a more authentic motivation, there's a steadiness that occurs. And when you can bring that steadiness into your business, you'll produce some really great results. Let's talk about that. So if you actually insert, right, let's say you insert authentic motivation into your business or into your job, what does that provide you? It provides you something. What does it provide you? Yeah. Predictability? I'm going to say no. You're great. Well said. There's I don't want to give it away, so I'm being vague. There's another way of saying that. What's another way of saying that? Yeah, say that. Consistency. It provides a consistency. Yeah.
Rocket fuel.
Rocket fuel. Absolutely. Can you say more about that?
You always have the rocket fuel. Your tank's never empty. Go back to it.
And what happens when you have rocket fuel?
The sky's the limit. Or unlimited sky.
Okay.
You can take off.
Well, no, I get the conceptual part, but if we bring it into reality in your business today, if we were watching you operating with rocket fuel, what would we see?
Results. 5 o'clock hour. Going beyond the next 15 minutes when you're. Don't think you can, I guess.
Okay. Could we say intentionality?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Let's use intentionality for a second. Here's the thing. There's a lot of you that took some actions today. Yeah. How many of you just took actions to take actions? Be honest. How many took actions to take actions? Oh, that is some wimpy hands. Are you kidding me? Be loud and proud. We all did. Okay, great. Now, how many of you took actions with a tremendous zest behind your action? You're like, I need to produce this result. I need to get it done. I want that outcome. You were like intentional. Yeah, it's different, right? That's the distinction. Because in your day-to-day, you're going to take some actions that are just, I'm taking actions I'm supposed to, I have to, got to clean the room, right? That kind of style actions. And there's some actions that you're taking, you're intentional. You're purposeful. You're connected to something. That's what's powerful. That's what we're looking for. The reason this seminar exists is because over the last couple of years, I have a lot of clients who their motivation fades. They didn't really know their motivation was fading. We just saw the decline in their actions and their intentionality and their results. The results would go up. They'd get burnt out. It would go down. It wasn't connected to anything bigger. How many of you, just be honest, this is a completely safe space. I've done it. We've all done it. How many of you, your business has gone up or you've performed really well in your job, plateaued, got burnt out, and it went down for a little bit? Yeah, that's most of the room, including myself. That's why this conversation exists. Because if you can insert some more authentic motivation into your business, you will be a lot more consistent. I guarantee you be consistent. Why would you be consistent? Why?
You're excited.
When you're excited, what do?
You're engaged.
Take action.
You take action, you're engaged. When you're engaged, you're more steady. There's a steadiness to you. That's why I'm using the word steady tonight. It's a very purposeful word for tonight. That motivation brings a tremendous steadiness to your actions. Coupled with, it also makes you very intentional. So when you're taking those actions, the results you're producing are much larger. So a lot of you get burnt out and you're just going through the motions. I watch you guys. You might as well stay home and go to the beach that day because you're not going to produce anything anyway. Seriously. Nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you just need to take a personal day. You can't take them 4 days a week, Mandy. She took that conversation too far.
Oh, I feel every morning, I need a personal day.
That's why they made Starbucks. Now, it does something else, okay? Definitely gets you in action, right? Definitely gets you in action. Definitely makes you intentional. Does one other thing that's really awesome. Growing a business can be difficult. Let's be honest about that. It can be difficult. There can be some times where you're in tears at your desk and that's just how it's going to go, right? And who has not been in tears in their business at some point? You haven't been in tears?
I'm just joking. I think
Oh, please, come on. I've been on the call. Some of you here have been on the call with you. Jeez. It was more like a couple times a week. But that's the thing. There's times in your business where you're going to hit a wall. You are. What gets you through that? What you're connected to, your motivation. If your motivation is connected to something bigger, it pulls you through. If your motivation is connected to something small and immediate, there's a really good chance it won't. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. All I'm saying tonight is we want to try to find the most steady, the most stable, the most reliable style of motivation. So we're using authentic motivation tonight instead of maybe ego or fear or some of the other kinds of motivators that are out there in the world for an option. Does that make sense? Yeah? Any questions so far? Okay, good. Make sure we did not miss anything. Okay. So show of hands, I think I know the answer to this, but show of hands, how many of you have sat down, you spent some time, and you have literally designed the different areas of your life? Excellent. Excellent. Now, at the show of hands, how many of you have read that in the last couple months? Good. Good. That's so important. That's a lot of what we're going to do tonight. We need to define it. So tonight, when we're defining the different areas of your life, we need to be very, very clear, very, very specific. We don't want this to be vague. A lot of times we create things for vague. We kind of get it in our head, so we don't write down much on the paper. You want to detail this thing out as much as possible. The more detail that's there, the more real it becomes. It's not an illusion or a delusion. It's actually real. Okay? There's a structure we're going to use tonight called a Life by Design plan. It's a fancy word for saying write out your life. Your Life by Design plan is a structure. We need structures. Structures work really well for us. A Life by Design plan is simply a structure that captures the experiences of life that you are committed, not just airy-fairy want, but you're actually really committed to having. And it's all 7 areas of your life. There's 7 areas we're going to go over in just a few minutes. 7. We don't have to design all of them. We can cut yours down to 2. One of them was finance. Everyone's like, really? Now, what does a Life by Design plan provide you? Think about the question for a second. Having a structure, right? Having a structure that actually is there to hold the experiences of life that you said you wanted. What does that plan do for you? It does something for you. Provide something for you. What does it provide you?
Directions.
Direction.
Guidance.
Commitment. Stability.
Stability.
Intention.
Intention. Commitment. Motivation. You can say it loud. Come on.
Motivation.
There you go. Yeah, that's great. There's some substance though. There's something else here. How many of you have a retirement plan? Be honest, like an actual written retirement plan. Okay. Your retirement plan,
Guys?
like a true retirement plan, is derived from this. So if you have not written down and described the different areas of your life in detail, then your financial advisor, unless you are a financial advisor, cannot create one for you. Because how do you know how much your life is going to cost? So if you don't know how much your life is going to cost, that is part of doing a plan. Remember, plans have to be detailed, yes? Description, detail, so it's not an delusion. So if it has to have a lot of detail to it, detail includes cost. If you don't know how much your life is going to cost, or each area is going to cost, you can't create a plan. So many of you are putting money in retirement, but you don't know if that's enough to cover the life that you said you're committed to having. There's a disconnect, yes? It's a big disconnect if you think about it. To produce optimal results in life, period. I don't care if this is sports. I don't care if it's flying a plane. The more aligned you can be, the better you produce results. Whether it's yoga, whether it's martial arts, the more aligned something is, the better results we end up producing, yes? Yeah. So if you're putting money in retirement, but you have no idea how much you need, you've never defined your life, nothing's actually correlated. It's kind of a hodgepodge. It's kind of like, I hope this works out. Right? It's kind of how some of you market. Hope this works out. So I'm serious. It's not taught in school. When's the last time you sat down and was like, listen, we should design our life, figure out how much it costs so we can get it. It's not a common conversation. You following me? Nodding, yes? Okay, good. Let's go to the 7 areas. Everyone's dying to write down the 7 areas. Ready? Aim. Here's 7 areas. First one is kind of a big one. Self/mind/spirituality. Yes, I'll explain. So self, your mind, spirituality. First area. So yourself is anything that really has to do with your mental space, your emotions, your mind, your feelings, your thoughts, context. Mind, again, we're trying to capture the same piece. Spirituality, again, should be pretty clear. Area number 2 is body.
Good health.
Yeah, body, health, yeah, absolutely. Next, what we have is relationships. Again, we're talking the whole shebang. Romantic relationships, friendships, family, co-workers, relationships, period. The whole thing, the whole expression. Next is travel and recreation. Woohoo! This is the favorite one on the list. Mandy. Travel and recreation, this is an awesome one. Fun. You can call it fun too. A lot of people call this one fun. Now I'll explain this next one. The next one's environments and stuff. Environments, right? Environment can be your work environment. Your home is an environment. Your car is an environment. Any place that you spend time is an environment. It could be your gym. We want to make sure your environments are ideal. /stuff. So environment /stuff. Stuff could be a watch. It could be clothes. It could be, I want a deck on my house. Any kind of stuff or environment that's important to you is going to go in that area. It's a pretty wide area. Does that make sense, or is anyone confused on that one? Okay. Next one is finance. I said finance. Somebody's like, huh? What? No, that one's fine. Last one's career. That could be your business, that could be your job, just career.
What does education fall?
I would say mind, because that's what it's influencing is mind.
What if it's education that's much more connected to career? Would it fall in there?
Wherever you want to put it. I mean, whatever makes sense for you. It's good. I mean, here's the thing. If you want to change the names of these are just names. You want this to fit how you think, how your brain relates. So if you want to take mind and self and take spirituality and make spirituality its own thing, which a lot of my clients do it. There's no rules here. You can spread this out and make 13 areas. It's totally fine. We just want you to be clear for yourself so you can define it well. Okay? So here's the thing. We're going to go work on an area tonight. We can't work on designing all 7 areas. It would take us a very long time. So we're going to work on one area. Here's my request, that you don't pick the easy one. Don't pick the easiest one. Pick the one you really want to influence, that you really want to have a result produced inside of. Deal? Do we have any questions before you pick the area? Yeah, Renee.
I just have a comment.
Yeah.
You did something similar to this, a similar kind of seminar a couple of years back.
Having it all. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I remember you said pick the hardest one, so I picked relationship. Because it was horrendous for me back then.
Yeah, I remember. I still have great hair from it, actually.
And I was even, no, I remember. I was just like it was very confronting.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you, it was the most profound work I ever did. Because I, since then, met the most incredible, person and man in my entire being in my life.
Yeah.
It was really incredible.
Yeah, they met on the first date and they're like, done, sign, we're good.
I think the work that forced me to do was just really profound.
It creates a shift.
Yeah, it did.
If you're willing to do the work, it creates a shift. That's why I don't want you guys to cheese out. Don't pick the easy one. Pick the hard one. Pick the one you really want to cause a shift in. Thank you for saying that. That's great. Okay? So take a moment. Pick the area you're going to work on tonight. Go. No standoffs.
I feel like I'm working on all of them.
You can pick one of them. Just in here. Just one. All right. Everyone have their area? That was a lot of response. All right. I want to hear some. What are some of the areas? Finance? Okay. Finance? Environment. Environment stuff.
You guys have tons of stuff in your environments.
Yeah. Health. Okay, excellent. Career. Self. Career. Self. Career.
Travel fun.
Woohoo! Career? All right. So we have some areas. So I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to go first. I'm going to share with you how I want you guys to start to design this area. Because we're going to start to design this thing in detail. We want detail. Again, detail. So the area that I'm working on, or that I designed, that I'm sharing with, is body. Now, keep in mind, when I design this, I design it in my future, how I want this to be. So in here, I'm married. I'm not married right now, for those of you who don't know. So if you hear me talk about my wife tonight, she doesn't exist quite yet. Well, she may exist, but the ring's not on the finger yet.
Hopefully she does exist.
Absolutely. Amen to that, sister. All right, let me get the blood out of my face. Okay. So here goes. So body. The health and wellness of our bodies is very important to my wife and I. We'll be getting massages, chiropractic, acupuncture, and facials once a month. We eat organic, healthy meals along with regularly taking supplements. We both do blood nutrition to ensure our bodies are getting the proper nutrition as we age. Proper nutrition as we age. Blah, blah. Our physical fitness will include a diverse set of activities, such as the regular gym, yoga, rock climbing, and Pilates. Golf will also be another fun way for us to take in our exercise. We'll also own an isobaric chamber that we'll use several times a week, and we'll also have an alkaline water system in our home.
Can I use that chamber when you're not in there?
Sure. It's $100 per session. We need cash on the door.
My finance organization will take care of it.
I love it. Can you guys see the detail, though? There's detail. It creates a world for me to live into. And I can always ongoingly adjust and add to it, but it really gives me a world. I can see what I want. It's descriptive. That's the kind of work I want you to do. So please, as you're doing this, try to be as detailed as you can. Shane, yeah?
If we're doing this in all the different areas, would you recommend having one kind of big story where you're interweaving all the different stuff?
No, I define each.
It's totally separate.
Yeah, because when it comes to starting to put money to it, it's going to get really difficult. Because we're going to do that actually next section. So breaking it out keeps you in a trail of thought for a specific amount of time, and there becomes a depth to the thinking. When you're starting to pinball around, it starts to become surface again. Make sense?
Yep.
Because your mind's going to kick out what it's used to thinking about, versus staying with something for a duration of time is going to force your mind to press through the normal casualness that it usually has around these areas. Again, most of us anyway aren't used to thinking like this. This isn't, you usually don't drive around town thinking about, what kind of nutrition you're going to be taking when you're 90 and blah, 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 blah. That's why it's worth spending some time to actually sit with and press through and actually think. Take some thinking to get this going. Okay? Shannon actually brought this up earlier, but I'm just going to say it again. As you're designing this isn't necessarily 10 years from now. This could be tomorrow. Some of the stuff that you write down may be 10 years from now, maybe a couple years from now. It doesn't matter. That there's no rules. You're sitting down, and be really clear about this. You're sitting down to design the life you want. This isn't the life you have now. This is your opportunity to create something. So there's a blank canvas here. There's nothing here. You can really create it how you want to be. Not like an airy-fairy creation, but as a commitment. I'm committed to having that.
If at some point you are going to do all 7 of them, obviously not tonight, should you choose a year, 5 years from now, this is how I'm going to be in these 7 areas, or no?
I look at it as life fully expressed, fully realized for me. So if I was living the life that I'm committed to, whether that's when I'm 80, 60, whatever, this is how I want my expression to be, my experience to be.
I would want to do that at some point for overall, but I'm saying that, I've
Yeah.
got some things I'm trying to work on right now.
Sure.
So should I be more of a short-term goal-building life plan right now?
You want both.
Okay.
That's the exercise. Can you see he has a bend? He wants to focus short-term, short-term, short-term. It's going to limit the long-term. Your long-term actually pulls for short-term. The reason short-term exists is because somewhere there's a long-term. You need both. Again, being too myopic about something, being so focused on something short-term, diminishes the authentic motivation. So I'm just going to encourage you to press through that. Stretch a little bit. If you want to capture all that short-term stuff, please do that. Then start looking to see what's next. Yeah?
For a career in an environment is actually tied to my careers that I want to work on. But do we, at some point, we don't want to have that career? When we want to be finished with it, or at least have it in a way that lets us express ourselves. So where do we write on?
You'll write that. I plan on selling my company at this age for this much money.
Okay.
And I'm going to take that money and I'm going to put it in my retirement, which is this many rental properties, this much in stocks. And it's going to provide me an income of this, which allows me to travel and blah, blah, blah. It's all going to tie together. Yeah. You're going to really describe it so you can see it. Does that make sense? Okay, good. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No.
You may have just answered that with her, but I'm just still trying to figure out career. Career is the only place on here that would link to your business. No? Well,
we'll get there.
I guess when you're talking about career, you're naturally going to be talking about the business that you're...
It could be multiple. I have other businesses that... It could be, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. This could be tomorrow.
Yeah.
This could be 10 years. So just describe that in detail, how you envision it, how you want it.
All right.
Make sense? Yeah.
When somebody else was talking, it dawned on me, I did this. I actually rolled out,
A little louder.
I wanted to sell a company for a certain amount of money and that sort of thing. So I wrote a lot of stuff in detail out, which was probably a year and a half ago.
Okay.
And then I got scared shitless about it.
Yeah.
And I kept rereading it, months would go by, I'd reread it, and I would go, this is too much work. I don't know. I'm not sure if I want that.
Mhm.
I can't see myself doing the work that would require to get to that level. And yet, that level wasn't going to be 2 years from now. So, not. I guess the exercise is do it anyway, and I mean, write what you want anyway, and figure out later what's
Yeah.
going to confront you.
Right.
Okay.
Again, we're not going to solve all the questions at this stage of the conversation. Can you also, everyone just get real present with me for a second. Can you feel there's a natural resistance in the room?
Yeah.
You can, right? It's perfect. That's what it is to design your life. This is not an easy seminar. Even in writing the seminar, I thought it was going to be really easy to write. It's not easy to write. This is not an easy seminar. It's confronting. All the questions, this is a really clear exercise. All we're doing is designing the life that you said you wanted. We're talking about what you want as a creation. Notice all the stuff that comes up. That's what comes up every day. That's why some of your businesses aren't growing. Because all this stuff comes up. And it is. It's just about pressing through. It's one step at a time. Same thing's going on. It's one step at a time. So your mind has a lot of chatter right now in it. Thank it for sharing. Tell it to go do something else. We're going to do this. Okay? So just get really present with yourself. Get connected. Remember, authentic motivation is heartfelt. It's aligned to your values. It's aligned to you, your core. So get present with yourself and start writing down how you want this area to be. Whether it's some stuff is today, 6 weeks, 10 years, whatever you have it. We clear? All right, so let's do it. Oh, okay, a couple more. Go ahead.
You were saying how you want it to be.
Yeah.
When you were doing yours, you were saying these very specific actions that you're taking. What if you know how you want it to be, but you don't know what those actions are and have it be that way?
You'll just describe it in as much detail as you can. What's your area?
I was using health. I have a condition that I want to get rid of, but I don't know how.
Okay. So you'll just state it how your health is, and it will be absent of that condition. The condition won't be a part of this conversation. This condition ends, this condition disappears at this stage, and then my body goes to this, and goes to this, and goes to this, and goes to this, so we can see the full expression of it. So great. So in 6 months, the condition's complete. Just complete. You don't have to label it. It's complete. And then my body goes on from here to here to here. So you'll describe how you want your body to be. Does that make sense? It's not necessarily actions.
It feels not true though, so I have to,
That's the exercise, right?
Almost 30 years. How do you not have something?
You just got to go through the exercise. You got
So I feel like you're saying too, right now you're taking us to the end of the timeline. Then we'll start to work on benchmarks after that, but define the end point.
Right.
First, and
Yeah,
then
you guys' minds wanting to jump. Just define the area right now, and then we'll start to do the work and work it back into today. So we got some steps to go. You guys are fine. We got some steps to go. Yeah.
Eric, could you read a little bit of your definition? Because I was out of the room when you were going into
Definition of what?
when you were reading your different areas and with the.
We're behind on timeline a little bit, so I'll come visit you over there, and I can do that. All right, everybody. So get to work. Give me 1 second. How's it going in the room? Can you tell?
Yeah, it's going, it's going well. And we just want to make sure that when there's going to be a approach, people can hear. Like when you talk quietly, it's
Yeah.
kind of funny. So she knows. Yeah, just looking for the work.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But yeah.
Can you grab me a sticky really quick? Do we have one close? Easily? It's probably the next. It's the other one inside the blue chingus. No, inside the whole big, yeah. It should be on the top. Anything to add? Anything you see? Anything you hear?
I've been focused here,
Oh.
so help me.
Bless you. All right, another 2 minutes. Our seminar. We need to check in. Long seminar. Our energy's better. No, MIB.
You are being fine, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little attached to my forehead.
A little bit. But you're like, your being is fine. Yeah. You can definitely tell like you were very authentic when you like started talking about your wife, given, you know,
yeah.
Laura's really like, you know, you're cute.
All right, let's start wrapping it up. Finish the thought up. All right, give me your eyeballs. How was that? What'd you get from doing the exercise? Yeah.
Like joy.
Yeah?
Happiness.
Why?
When you write it out and I was trying to get to like how to come in it, and I thought you were going to like have the end in mind. So it was like this motivation has already got me there, and now I get to go from that point of what I wanted, and it goes from that, like the storyline starts there, and it's, you know, you get to do it and be like, wow, this is way better, such a better way to interact for myself.
Nice. Awesome. What else? What was your experience of doing this? Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I did it right, but
no right way.
as I was doing it, it's like everything, it all got brought in together.
Interesting.
Even though I was focusing on one area, it touched all the areas.
Yeah. Anyone else notice that? There's other tie-ins? Yeah. Remember, we're doing authentic motivation because it's very steady. There's a steady quality to it. So what you're noticing, by designing one area, you start to see the bridge to other areas of life, yes? So imagine if you had your motivators, the things in life that are actually motivating you right now, tied to not just one area, but 7 areas of your life. It is extremely strong. Extremely strong. That's why we do it. It's bringing joy, it's bringing other things. And not just in one area, but all areas. And if that life by design plan is actually in place and you read it on a regular basis and stay present to it, and you're working with it, interacting with it, your ability to produce results will be off the charts compared to people who don't do this. It makes a huge, huge difference. And you'll start to get a sense of that more and more as we roll through this. Great work. No, really good work. Anyone have any questions? Okay, let's jump to the next step. Again, for our motivation to be really authentic, it needs to be real. It can't be an illusion delusion. It needs to be really, really real for us. There's a couple things that make it real. First is writing something out in a lot of detail and description, which we just did, so we can check that off the list. Next, we need to put cost to this. Things aren't real until we put money to it. It's a good look at Lexus until you look at the price and you're like, "Argh! How many more clients is that? Need the raise." Money does something, yes? It makes things real. So that's something else we got to work on. The next thing that brings it into reality is then tying those things back to the growth of our business or the raise in our career or in our job. So we need to tie it back to the business after that. So let's do step 2. Let's just work on the money side of things. So I'm going to read mine. Okay, so again, areas body. So what I want you to hear is, I've already described this in detail to y'all. So now I'm going to start to put some cost to it so I can get the world of what I said I wanted. So here we go. Massages, chiropractic, acupuncture, facials once a month. It's about $900 a month. Remember, me and the wife. Gotta stay looking good for her. I mean, come on. All right. We'll eat organic, healthy food. About $700 a month just for us two. Regularly taking supplements, at least $300 a month. Our physical fitness, which includes, remember, the gym, yoga, rock climbing, Pilates, golf. It's $1,000. It's $1,000 a month to do all those things. An isobaric chamber is about $10,000. Obviously not a month as a single purchase. $10,000.
Lance has some spares.
What's that?
Lance has some spares.
Does he? Oh, okay, good to know. Alkaline water system for your house, again, around $10,000. So you start to get present to that money. You're like, wow, I need to grow the business a little bit more to afford all that. Now I want a sauna in my house, apparently. So there's another like $4,000 or $5,000. So this thing evolves over time, but you start to get the world of that. You start to deal with the money. Like, wow, I'm going to spend $1,000 a month on my physical fitness alone. Gives you some weight, yeah? So you're about to do this. Anyone have any questions on what you're about to do?
Yeah.
He's like, oh. Coffee's in the back if you need it. Any questions? No, really, any questions?
What if you don't know the cost and you get a ballpoint estimate? Like mine is, I'm going to Bora Bora in a few years, so I don't know what
Just guesstimate it. Just start breaking. Again, detail is good. So if you have a trip, what's that?
Have you ticket yet? No. Jump. It'd be cheaper.
Okay.
Get a boat.
I mean, jump now. Buy the ticket now.
Buy a ticket now. So here's the thing. If you're, let's say, planning a trip, for example, break it down. Okay, flight is going to be, my guesstimate is this much. Hotel, guesstimate is this much. Food and entertainment while I'm there is probably this much. The more you can break it down, even if it's guesstimated, still gives you a lot of reality. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So again, I'm going to give you a couple minutes. Start to write down all the costs involved. Try to look at it on terms of a monthly basis, because most of our finances work on a monthly basis. Or if it's a lump sum, like you want to buy a plane or whatever it is for you. Clear?
So if it's career and, I mean, it's bringing in money, you're just looking at the cost of doing business, like the business expense?
No, so there's costs sometimes, and you need rent. Sometimes you need equipment. Sometimes you need education. Sometimes you need staff. Just looking at the costs involved. For some of your areas, there may be very little costs involved. For some of your areas, there may be lots of costs involved. We're not putting a judgment to it. We're just saying that to help bring reality to something, we need to look at the financial facet to it. Because most things in our life do cost money. So we just want to kind of get that edge of it. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, guys, go to work. I'm going to give you a couple minutes to do this. Just a couple minutes.
How much does it cost?
What's next?
About 14 minutes.
Yeah, I know. I saw that blood.
Bradley has a question.
Bradley, what you got? Nice and loud. You sound different.
Yeah. The thing that I was writing about was finances. My area was finances.
Okay.
So am I creating basically a budget outline of how I'm going to make that finances thing happen? It doesn't sound like that's what I would be doing. So it's more about my...
I'd be looking at what you have to make to fulfill on the finances. It's how you want your finances to be, yes?
Okay.
Yeah, so there's the financial component to your finances is knowing how much money you need and then getting clear on what you have to sell.
Okay.
So it's like, listen, I need this many clients in this, I need this many clients in that.
Okay.
It'll fulfill the budget, which is this big.
Okay.
Remember, it's not the budget now, it's the budget in the future.
Right.
It's the fullest expression of that budget.
All right.
So it's the travel, it's the kids, the whole shebang. Any questions?
No.
Next step is the time area that you have designed. Raise your hand if you need another minute. Yeah.
I don't know overhead for clinics. They just throw something out, they just make it up.
You want to start to break down as much as you can. Okay, staff is going to be this much. Equipment would be this much. Equipment's like a one-time home. Staff is ongoing. Rent. Just the regular bills. Electric, all that fun stuff. Yeah, the more you break it down, you can start to figure out how much each one of those is going to cost you.
Okay.
Make sense? Okay. Now I'm actually looking. How many need another minute? Okay.
costs a month. Okay. You know, the business is $200,000.
Okay. Okay. All right, start to wrap it up. I know you're not all going to be done. Remember, you're all going to have a lot more time to expand all of these areas. So bring it back real quick. Let me see eyeballs again. So what was it like actually figuring out and getting present to the costs of the area? Renee?
Literally, it did give it more reality.
A little bit louder, one more time.
I said literally, it did give it more reality.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay. Then I could see. Okay, great. So how much I need to save for that? There was some interesting shift between the detail of what it was, the item, and then the dollar amount.
Yeah, the process you're going through, it's a building effect. So describing it in detail and actually putting it on paper, putting pen to paper, is one facet. Then you start to couple that with putting cost. It starts to bring it even more real and more real. So as we move through this has become more and more and more real. What else did you all notice by seeing the costs? Yeah?
I had to put it in my schedule also.
You had to put it in your schedule?
I had to put it in my schedule so it let me realize how it would be a daily part of my life and where it would fit and the cost of that too.
Good. Yeah, so she's putting it into her schedule to see what it would cost her and how much time it would take, which we're actually going to get to in a minute. So you're a step ahead. Awesome. That's great. Anyone else? Yeah.
For me, it's like, holy shit, I need a lot of money.
Yeah. That's actually the one I was waiting for. No, thank you. That's actually the one I was waiting for to happen in the room. How many of that was you? Okay, good. There was a lot of holy shits. That's great. So that's awesome. That's what we want. That's motivating. No one said this was easy. We said motivating. Being an Olympic athlete, they're motivated human beings, wouldn't you say? Some of the most dedicated human beings living are Olympic athletes. They're motivated. Is it easy to be an Olympic athlete? No. Tons of discipline, hard work, not a day off for years. They're motivated.
Without pay.
Without pay. Well said. And they don't even know they're going to win. I don't know. They're vying for a spot. That's 7 billion people. Motivated, though. That's motivation. That's what there is to confront. You guys get that? That's what there is to confront. That holy shit is the motivation. We want that. We want to keep that in place. That's great. You're in the perfect spot. So let's move to the next place. So we've designed an area. Yeah? Designed an area. We're starting to put cost to it, so to see how much it actually costs us. So the third part was to actually tie that back to the growth of our business or the increase in our job. Is that correct? Okay, so let's do that. So I'm going to give you my example again. So massages, chiropractic, gym, yoga, water machines, all that fun stuff. That's the big plan, right? That's what I said I wanted. That big old, all of that. Now I've actually done some of that. Some of that's actually checked off. Yoga's checked off. Some of these things are checked off. This year I put in running. Running got added in this year. Yoga got put in this year. And rock climbing got put in this year. So each year, I'm telling you the answer to a question that's coming. So each year, I pick a couple things off my list, out of that area, and I insert it in my budget and into my schedule, like you said. Perfect job. That's the next phase. That's how we're going to tie this together. Every year, this is going to digress a little bit. In my finance seminar, we talked about budgeting. In that seminar, we talked about creating a budget for the whole entire year. Your budget should be put together for the whole year. So we're coming up to annual planning soon. We're about to hit October. So in 45 days, we're going to start annual planning. So when we start to look at our annual plan, we're going to start to look at our budgets. We're going to start to look at our schedules and start to schedule out our vacations or just all the things that we need to manage. We're going to start to create our plan for the year. Make sense? So when we do that, what you're going to do is you're going to pull this out again, and you're going to pick what's something off this area that I'm committed to integrating into my life. One or two things, maybe three. Don't pick too many, you're going to overwhelm yourself. Pick one or two things, maybe three, that you're really, no kidding, committed to integrating into your life this coming year. And then what do? You put it into your budget and you put it in your schedule. Those are the two main structures that most of us use. There might be some other ones, and we're going to look and see. but those are the two main ones that most of us interact with or need for this. Is that making sense? So this year when it was time for me, I'm like, okay, I need to do this and this and this. It's on my plan. Let's integrate it in. So I scheduled it into my calendar. So I have yoga, Saturday mornings, boom. Rock climbing, boom. Running, boom. Done. It's in the budget now. It's in the schedule now. So now it happens. Now it's real for me. This coming year, it's going to be blood nutrition. I've already started to get some information around that, starting to educate myself around that, but that's going to be the thing for 2013 for me is let's get the nutrition part really handled. That's going to be the next thing. I got a budget for it now to figure out how much that costs me. I need to schedule my calendar. Make sense? Is this clear? Anyone not clear? Okay, so here's what you get to do. Let me check this before I say what I'm about to say. Let's just do part of this. Let's not eat the whole elephant. Let's do part one. Let's just pick the 1, 2, maybe 3 things that you want to integrate into your life for this coming year from this area that we're looking at right now. So take a moment, look at the area that you detailed and described, and you put some cost to, and look and see what facets of that area do you want to integrate or get going in your life, be working on in your life in the next couple months. Or sooner. You can do it sooner. There's no problem with that. So do that real quick. Take about 1 minute and pick with those 1, 2, possibly 3 things. Okay, go. Anyone need another couple seconds to pick? Okay. Yeah, shoot.
Integrate, you can choose one to integrate, but maybe not all the way to scale that you see it down the road.
Yeah, you can do a piece of it. Yeah. You don't want to bite off the whole elephant sometimes. It's just take a little piece. Whatever you think is manageable. Again, there's no hurry. It's just about picking what's the thing I'm committed to and putting it in place. But if you overcommit, it doesn't usually work out so well. You know what I'm saying? So it's better to be real about it, and if you want to stretch a little, don't make sure it's not comfortable. You want to be a little uncomfortable. Okay. So I want to hear, what are some of the areas? What'd y'all pick? Someone who hasn't shared yet. I will pick on you. Yeah.
Going to Zumba class every week.
Zumba class every week. Excellent. That's clear. Yeah.
Mine was for my career, so I said that I'll get certified organic by the USDA, and I'll start being carried regularly in grocery, like a local grocery store.
So say it one more time, but louder. That's fine.
Yeah, I'll get certified organic by the USDA.
Cool. Yeah.
And then that I'll be carried locally in a grocery store.
Excellent. I'll just define which grocery store.
Okay.
Or which grocery stores. Because again, it's all in details. You see, in her head, that's really clear. But it could be one grocery store. You could be in like one Whole Foods, period. Yeah. Or you could be in all of Whole Foods in California, or Whole Foods in Henry's and People's.
Right.
Right? You want to get clarity around that, so that when you're saying it, you're speaking it responsibly. Because your mind may think one thing,
right,
and your words may be saying another. You see that little thing right there will make a huge, huge difference. That's why I said detail, detail, detail. It's going to help to share this with other people, because other people will pick up on that discrepancy. Yeah? Thank you.
That you say that, because one of mine was start a retirement account.
Uh-huh.
I finally really do it. I have a little tiny stock thing and whatever, and that was just struggling with myself on that. I'm thinking, well, you want to diversify, you know what I mean? Like, you want to have more than one account. And
yeah.
Well, yeah, then write that down. But I didn't, I just said start a retirement account. That's my problem, is I need to write down if you need to have 4 retirement accounts, you need to write that down and then be accountable to it.
Right. Yeah, because you may have a retirement account called money for a 401k. You might have another facet to that that's I want 6 months of money saved in case of an emergency. That's another facet, right? You know, another part of a retirement plan, if you're really diversified, is rental property. So I'm going to put some money toward a rental property. So I'm putting some money toward rental property, some toward 6 months worth of savings, some toward a 401k. Again, clarity. The more clarity we can bring, the better we are. So from time to time, you guys are going to read this, and you're like, oh, that so was not clear. And you can define it. So this is a work in progress. Make sense? All right, step 2. We want to work these items, these things, into our life. We need to bridge this and tie this back to our jobs, back to our careers, back to our businesses. That's what's going to make this really real and bring that forth, that motivation, yes? So let's start to see what we need to do here. I want to work with someone on this. Who wants to do a little coaching around this? Don't all raise your hand at once. Trust me, I got plenty of time.
Hot seat. What was the question?
Oh, no.
Brent. Yes.
Brent, do you have a job?
I do.
It's going to make it a little harder for the demonstration. Do you mind if I pass?
No.
Okay. Bradley, what's your area? Don't make sure the demonstration is going to land. What's your area again?
Business owner.
Business owner? No, what's the area?
Oh, finance.
Finance? Okay, let's do it. What's the pieces of finance that you're going to be working in?
Keeping a more responsible track of revenue streams.
Turn your chair a little bit. I want to just make sure everyone here. So guys, you want to listen up to this because you're about to go do this work. This is the tipping point of the conversation. Because this is what's going to get that motivation to click on in. Okay, so sorry, one more time.
Taking more responsible action for my revenue streams. Where's the money coming from and how do we position it?
Okay, good. So it's going to be revenue streams. I'm hearing that.
Yeah.
I'm hearing grow revenue streams. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Okay. So from a standpoint of motivation, we need to build this into your life. That's what we need to do, right? If this is going to motivate us, we need to build this into your life now. He knows the area. He knows how he wants it to look. Now he actually needs to start getting in some action and do something about it. So there's 2 facets to this. It's going to be put it in the budget and put it in the schedule. So let's do the schedule first, but I know that one's going to work. So what would it look like building this into your life now?
I would kind of need to 3 or 4 days a week spend probably 3 to 4 hours a day taking care of the people that have already come to us for business.
Okay.
And developing that relationship in a new way or in a further way, a better way to keep retention.
Okay.
And maybe inspire them to a deeper commitment to themselves, to their health and wellness. So kind of learning that rapport so that the stream starts to have a bigger flow to it.
Okay. Did anyone not hear him? You heard him? Sort of, kind of? He needs to put time into his schedule, a couple days a week, a couple hours a day, where what he's doing is really working with his customers, keeping them inspired, keeping them connected to his business, keeping them present to why are they doing all this. Does that make sense? Yeah, that's clear action. Great, so he has to schedule it now, yes? Has to go in the calendar. So he puts in the calendar. Then what's going to actually have him fulfill on that? How many of you have calendar stuff you don't follow? Right? It happens. Yeah?
Can I ask a question about what's an example of his doing of an action that he would need to do in that hour or in those few hours of the day? That, when he shared that, that's the only thing I'm not clear about.
Yeah. So we're getting that. So once it's scheduled, right, that's the first thing. We need to just get it in the calendar. And you actually need to honor what you put in the calendar, right? So like Randy's saying, so we'll fast forward time. You've now scheduled this. So what's the action? What's the actual doingness?
We have intake forums where we find out, we have a yoga studio and do body work there. So everybody that comes through the doors, except Lauren this weekend, does an intake form. So we gather information about them that basically assesses their goals and where they're at in their life, how they feel about that. And that gives us a point of contact to go to them and say, look, I hear you, I see your goals, this is what we do, this is what I can offer you, what is your commitment level to this? And then that starts to engage the conversation to create a strategy for them that will take them to the place that they want to get. And then it's up to us to then, do our end to that they get results and then become committed to their commitment. It's the same thing as this. Like, he's helping us learn how to do our business. He's helping me with my commitment to do my family and life well. I teach him yoga.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he puts in the schedule. He knows what actions he's going to do. Now, there's something that can arise that can thwart his intention. What can happen? Life. Life can happen. There's all kinds of versions of this, but yeah, life can happen. You have kids. Life can happen. So if we actually want this to evoke authentic motivation, we need to look at another piece of this. Putting it in the calendar and putting it in the budget may not be enough. So I'm going to do a little work with Bradley, and I want you guys to do the same work with your area in your own heads as we're talking through this, okay? So I know Bradley. He's my yoga teacher, so is his wife. We've coached together for quite a while. We know each other well. We're friends outside of that. We rock climb together, so I know him well. So I'm going to make some assertions, okay? So I'm going to take you on a bit of a journey. He has 2 beautiful kids and beautiful wife sitting right here. So if Bradley doesn't work on his business, what could happen? What could happen?
He's not able to provide for his family in the way he wants to.
Yeah, so there's an impact. That's where I'm going. There's an impact here. A lot of us don't look at the impact. Impact is huge on motivation. Huge. So we can put it in our schedules. We can put it in our budgets. A lot of people don't honor their schedules or honor their budgets. You start to look at the impact, something starts to shift. Someone gets diagnosed with cancer. I'm going to make some life choices. Something's going to change. There's an impact. Death. We need to look at the impact here. So, hypothetically, if Bradley was to do this work, what he would see is, if I don't work on my business a couple times a week, I'm not really going to have a business. It's not going to flourish. I'm not going to be able to send my kids to college if they want to go. If something happens to them, they need a surgery, something bad happens, I may not be able to afford it. If I can't afford to take care of myself or my family, they may be ill. They may pass away at a really young age. There's an impact to that. Kids get older. Maybe they weren't able to really take care of themselves and afford certain nutritional or medications as they age. And their kids are 30s, getting married. Bradley hasn't been able to take care of himself, and he can't dance at their wedding. He's in a wheelchair. Or, God forbid, he's at home, he can't get out of a bed. There's an impact to that. You know what I'm saying? Most of us aren't willing to take it there. But if he was actually willing to sit with it, not doing that can hurt his kids dearly. He could miss out on some of the best days of their life because of it. And we're just dealing with relationships. That's just relationships. We could take it to every other area. If he doesn't, where's your mom live? Ohio. If things get really rough, he may not be able to leave. His mom may get sick. He may not be able to go back there and take care of her. There's impacts to some of this, guys. There's some really serious impacts. If you spend the time and the willingness, and it's not easy, it's very confronting. I mean, look how confronted you guys got about just writing down how you want something. No, I'm serious. Let alone the impact. It'll move you to tears. It'll move you to tears. So this is what we're doing. It's not just about putting it in the calendar, which he now sees exactly what he needs. He can start to put some, you might need some resources in the budget. So some of the line items in your budget, maybe, I need a website gal or guy to design a site, or I need a printing person to design something. So there might be some expense to put in the budget, right? So Bradley and his wife, they budget a little bit of money for the growth of the business. They schedule some time for the growth of the business. And if he stays connected to the impact of not doing what he said he would do and what he said he needs, if he stays present to that, he's going to have some motivation. Real motivation, not some ego motivation. heartfelt motivation. Heartfelt motivation is steady. It's consistent. It's strong. It's moving. Heartfelt motivation will move you through really tough times. Let's face it, growing a business can be scary. Moving up in a job, getting a different managing position or whatever, can be scary and can be intimidating. With the right motivation, you will move through that and rise to the occasion. That's why motivation exists. It's a great mover. Motivator. Does that make sense, Bradley?
Yes.
Any comments, questions, thoughts?
We had worked with Darren for a full year, weekly.
A little louder so back of the room can
hear. We worked with Darren for a whole year, weekly consultations, business coaching. And, he kept, the themes kept repeating. Because in a year's time, it's like, did you do this? Did you do that? We're like, not always. So it's like, the reality is it takes practice, and as good as our intention is and, wish or hope and commitment to each other, it's daily work. And that's the thing that I think, I'm not afraid of work, but it's like the task of some of this stuff, it's not the joy of work. It's not the joy of our business, but it's the necessary steps to make it work, make it happen. It's like, we teach yoga, we're talking about the self and life and mind and spirit and stuff. I think we do that with our eyes closed. But like turning it into a business is another key. And they're all keys, as Aaron has made it clear, that for that part that we thrive on to really work, we've got to have all the other steps in place too. And it's still weekly effort to keep the ducks in a row, but slowly, through that constant intention and effort, however it falls short sometimes, it's like the constancy's there, and it's becoming more mature, more able as week by week goes by, and we see the difference certainly in our business. We went from barely covering rent to 10 times over rent in 6 months.
And that
was pretty like, wow. Okay, so there's a system we can apply. I have no business background, but now we're business owners, so what do you do?
And the underlying commitment that you have, those to your motivation, there's a greater good. He's really connected to making a difference. He's connected to his family. That's his motivator. That's why I use that in the conversations. That's his motivator. You want to find your motivator and connect to it. It's a very powerful mover. So now let's do the work. So the work, again, is I want you to distinguish, how do you need to put this into your budget? How do you need to put this into your schedule? There's a certain amount of time involved in probably most of your tasks here. There's probably a cost to some of that. So just identify, how are you going to put this in your budget? Is there a month you're going to insert it into the budget? And if so, how much is it going to go in? If there's a time commitment, great. What day, at what hour, for how long are you going to do that? Clear? Anyone not clear? Yeah.
When I had my...
A little louder?
When I had my... oh shit, but...
yeah.
I like just for the first time put down a figure on if I live for 35 years after I retire, how much money is that? And I go, oh my God, like how could you ever do that? So next month when I put in my first retirement amount, what is it? Because it's not going to be 1/360th of that.
Who cares? You have to start somewhere.
But that's what I'm saying. So is there a formula? Is there a way to just...
Financial person puts together the formula.
Okay.
Yeah. It's different.
Obviously like a curve. Right?
Oh yeah, there's a ramp up. Absolutely. But you have to start to figure that out.
Right.
Like in my retirement plan, I know that next year I need to buy a fourplex. I also know at some point I need to own another company that I need to purchase. So it takes time. But that's the mapping out point. You can't get there until you do this work on all the other areas. Make sense?
So if you didn't use a good plan or whatever, would you just pick a point, put $200 in an account?
Yeah.
Okay.
You start. You have to start. With the financial piece, it's a good question. There's some of you that this will not fit into your budget right now. Yes? Yeah. Good. This is a seminar on authentic motivation. How you get motivated is you stick it in the budget. And then you figure out how many clients do you need to go get that. That's what it is to be a business owner. You can make as much money as you want. There's no such thing as I can't. It's just how many clients. Who do I need working for me and how much? There's a point where you just put it in the budget and then you expand yourself. That's what it is to be a business owner. Straight up. That's a straight conversation. I can't say it any more straight than that. If you can't afford it, yeah, you can. You put it in the budget and you work out how you're going to do it. That is what it is to be motivated. Okay? All right. Do the work. I'll give you like 2 minutes. Go. Yep. Yep.
After that, it's simply what will happen if you don't. What is the whole process happens?
Yeah, the impact.
Impact.
Yeah, you're looking at the impact. You're looking at, does it fit into the budget? So it has to be in the budget somewhere. It has to be in the schedule.
Mhm.
Yeah, those are the facets for this. Yeah. Anyone need another minute? All right. Let's bring it on back. How was that? What did you get from doing that piece? What did you guys get from doing that piece?
I saw how I had to show up on a weekly basis.
Yeah? And how do you need to show up?
Well, one was, Monday at 1:30 to speak with organizations that I could speak at. On Wednesday evening doing networking, and that was as far as I got with that.
Great. Great work. All right, awesome. Who else?
I think mine somehow falls in line with hers. I'm not a business owner, just a job I guess, but mine is more I need to set into place things that hold me accountable. I sit down and I do my budget and this and that, and I can budget easily what I need to change. I'm just plain not doing it.
Yeah. So putting it in the schedule would also make a difference.
Well, yes. And I can do that easily, yet again.
Yep.
I'm just not holding myself accountable because I'm not.
Good.
Yeah.
So here's what happens. How many of you're not holding yourself accountable? It's been scheduled, it's been budgeted. And you can see to keep expanding in those different areas, the scheduling and the budget may not be sufficient. Anyone? Yeah. I was that way. I don't like to run. And this year I took on running. So I enrolled Shane and some other guys to run with me every morning. Sorry, not every morning, every Sunday morning. We run big old loop sand and hills and blah, 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 blah. Get some people to help you. Don't be the Lone Ranger. Get your friends. Listen, we're going to have a finance meeting. The last Friday of every month, we'll meet at Starbucks. We're going to our budgets. We're all doing it. Everyone knows they need to. No one wants to. So don't feel like you have to do this alone. It's your job to create the plan. Yeah?
So my question is scheduling. Like fear of scheduling as far as like variables are concerned. So my wife will love hearing this one. So as I love a schedule and I really want to be on it. But the reality is, I wake up and it says surf 6 foot plus. Everything else takes a backseat. Everything.
Right.
So that's like, then where do you say, oh no, I'm blowing this. I have this plan. But then it doesn't happen all the time. These ideal conditions, so to speak.
Yeah.
So you say you wake up and you're like, it's that, and I'm like, and then the kid in me is like, I don't care.
Right.
That's all I'm going to do. But when I do it, when I'm done, I'm like, yes. I'm the happiest person ever, and I go to work, and my clients are like, wow, man, you really are, you're nice today.
Yeah.
You're doing great.
Yeah.
So, but then you think not like I want to follow a schedule, but how do you plan in the variables where you feel like, if you miss one, it's not like the end of the world. You're like, oh no, I'm not following the schedule. I'm totally blowing this thing.
Sure.
I'm just trying to motivate myself for it. So that would be my question of
there's a duality here. So 50% of the answer is going to be this. If you schedule something, you need to stick to your schedule. There's no cheesing out. That's your word. You gave your word. That's the schedule. Without following the schedule, the workability goes out the window. That's 50% of it. Because if you're not following the schedule, then what's the point of having the damn thing? It's more like a good idea than an actual schedule, which the workability drops. That's 50%. The other 50% of the answer I think you're going to like, that one I don't know about, is about a life by design, right? That's what we're talking about, is designing your life, yes? Why can't you design your life where you can surf every morning, period, without messing up everything else? You own your own business, yeah?
Yes.
So what's the problem? I wanted to have Fridays half day so I can go play. So I changed my schedule so I can go play. Just design your schedule around your commitments. Because if he's committed to surfing, he needs to just be straight about that. I'm committed to surfing. So I'm not going to schedule anything in the mornings. Why? Because when it says 6 foot surf, I'm going to be like, hey, see you later. Just schedule it that way. Why can't you?
And then if it's not there, you just fill in.
Yeah, you can make your wife breakfast. On that note. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to run through this whole process now. So I'm going to have you partner up. So get with the person. We're going to partner up in twos. Can you turn around and you twos? Twos. You guys can turn twos.
Well, I'm really excited.
Twos. Randy? Miss Lauren? All right, introduce yourself to your partner. Or kiss your partner. You both did it. So funny. All right. Yeah, hold on. I haven't told you yet. All right, everybody, hold on. Pick an A and a B. What'd you pick, Lauren? You picked A? Okay. A's are going first. So here's what's going to happen. I want you to run through this whole process with your partner. I'm going to only give you 3 minutes each, so you got to be to the point. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to read the full description of your area that you wrote at the beginning of the night. Then you're going to tell them, here's the couple areas that I'm picking that I'm going to insert into my life this coming year. Here's how much it costs me. And here's how I'm putting it into my schedule. And here's how I'm putting it into my budget. We're just doing what we've done all the way up to this point tonight. We're just summarizing it. Is anyone fuzzy about what I said? Yeah. So you're going to read the whole area, right? Then next, you're going to pick the 1, 2, possibly 3 things from that area that you're committed to inserting and bringing into your life. Right? From there, you want to tell your partner what those things cost. You want to explain how you're going to put it into your budget and how you're going to put it into your calendar. Got that? All right. A's, you're up. You got 3 minutes. Now, B's. B's. You have a job, you're not just like... You have a job. Your job is to listen for anything that's not clear. When she was sharing, we got a little piece of, ooh, clarity? You want to do that. Oh, wait. No. Define that a little bit more. Make a note. We want to make this as clear and defined as possible. Yes? Okay. A's, you're up. Go! Shit fucking right, I see smiles. That's a good thing. All right, so let's look. Let's really look. How many are motivated right now authentically by what you just experienced, what you just read? Good. That's the purpose. That's the work. That's the work. So every year, what you want to do is you want to look at each area of your life. You want to look at your plan that you designed around each area of your life. You want to pick a couple things off of it. You want to, okay, commit. I'm committing to these things this year. Those are the couple things. You'll put it in your budget, right? You'll put it in your schedule. You'll put any other structures you need around that. Need some support, need some help, whatever you need. If you do that time after time, you'll move into the fullest expression of your life by design. It takes time. It takes a lot of time. I've been fortunate enough, I've been doing this for 15 years. I have some time behind this conversation. But if you spend the time and you're persistent about it, and you're doing this year after year, you'll start to notice that it starts to pick up pace. There's a momentum to it. And sooner than later, a lot of those areas will start getting accomplished relatively quick. Does that make sense? Yeah, Mandy.
I liked what yoga guy, what was his name?
Bradley.
What Bradley said about it's like, practice. He's been doing it with you and it's practicing doing it. And it's just like doing yoga because the first time that you have to try to go into one of those ridiculous postures,
right?
It's darn near impossible and it hurts so bad the whole entire time. But
seriously,
if you practice it week after week after week, then pretty soon you're like, whoa, and it's easy and
how's
it feels good.
Yoga light bulbs.
Yeah, and it's exciting, and you're like, wow, all of a sudden your body can do it, and your mind works the same way. At the beginning, it's like it's torture, and it's, you're suffering through it, but then pretty soon it starts to feel good, and you get better at it.
Yeah.
And then it's exciting.
It's practice.
Yes, practice.
Yeah. So it may be a little frustrating at first. It may be like putting your leg behind your head. It may not feel so hot. It may look like a ding-dong. But if you stick with it, yeah, if you stick with it, you really get to have an amazing life. Not that you don't now, but you get to have that amazing life you've been dreaming of and you said you wanted. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, I want to take some sharing. Out of the work we did here tonight, what did you get? What opened up for you? What did you learn about yourself? What did you get out of the work we did here tonight?
Yeah. Find out how important it is to be so specific on what you want. Because I realized if it looked like a map that I handed to somebody else and say, get to this goal for me, would they get where I wanted them to be? So being specific was big for me.
Awesome. Great work. Over here?
Make a plan and take action.
Make a plan, take action. Absolutely. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like that. I feel more empowered because I have some direction. Like, I'm pretty good at dreaming and visualizing, but now it makes it more like hands-on, that I can take steps on a weekly basis to move me towards the direction I want to go into.
Awesome. That's really great. Yeah.
Create something in reality.
Create something in reality. Beautiful. Yes. That is huge. You all get that tonight? Yes. Doing these steps, bring it into reality. It becomes actually physically real. And then you're dealing with reality. If you're dealing with reality, you can produce results. If you're dealing with an illusion or delusion, you're going to end up struggling, frustrated. Well said. Yeah.
I was just going to share that I realize that I've done some of this in other parts of my life. Why can't I do it here?
Yeah. So that's the homework. That's the homework from here forward. Is I'm going to charge you guys with this. Please give me your word. You're going to do this between now and the end of the year. The reason being, again, is we do annual planning in the next couple months. So there's a window of time. Okay? Again, you guys get busy. I got that. There's emails, there's kids, there's things in life. They're going to absorb you soon. While this information is still fresh, schedule some time. If you're married, grab the other half, go to the beach, grab lunch, grab some paper, and design your life. It's a really fun experience. It's not like this is torturous homework. This is really fun, right? You can even add some wine in there. Just saying. Make this fun. This is a creation. This should be fun. You want that fun energy present. Okay? All right. So now I want someone to read the intention that we're about to fill in tonight. So who wants to do the closing? Lauren, thanks for volunteering.
That you have access to authentic motivation by connecting your business's growth to the experiences in life that you're committed to having.
Do we fulfill that?
Yes.
Yes? Awesome. Great work. One last conversation. I want to cover what's going to happen here next month. We're going to have a very different conversation next month. Next month is on consistency. How we're going to get to consistencies is through a distinction. Distinction we're going to talk about is capacity. What's capacity? Someone guess. Come on.
How much you can handle.
How much you can handle. Glass. I think I used yours last time, didn't I? Famous glass. So if the glass holds 8 ounces of water, and some of you want to have 10 ounces in your bank account, and you don't have it, it's because you don't have the capacity. Your glass can only hold 8 ounces if that's the size of your glass, yes? Capacity is the distinction of expanding that glass to something bigger. So the amount of money you make is your capacity. That's what you have the capacity to handle. If you had the capacity to handle more money, you'd have what? More money. If you have 10 clients and you want 20, and you've been handling on average around 10 clients, it's because that's your capacity. Capacity is a distinction that causes businesses to rapidly expand. It's kind of like an accelerator. Okay? It's a really large distinction. It's going to take us all of 2 hours to create. So here's who it applies to. If you have a business and you're looking to expand it quickly, then you want to be in the conversation around capacity. It's a distinction you need to learn. So that's one group of people. Second group of people is for people who want to not just grow your business, you want to be consistent. So again, look in your life. Does your business go up, hold a little bit, and then drop back down? Like there's this level, you're like, I can't pierce this financial level or this amount of clients or customers. That's capacity. There's a capacity breakdown. In the conversation next month, we're going to look and see what's the breakdown. Capacity is made up of a couple of things, right? There's emotional capacity. There's physical capacity. Physical, emotional, and financial capacity, yeah. Mental, emotional, and physical. So your capacity can be stifled in many different areas. It could be a mental capacity issue. It could be physical. It could be both. So we're going to do the work to see what does your business need so that you can expand your capacity and move your business to the next level. Not just take it to the next level, but actually hold it consistent. Does that make sense? Okay. So on your desk, there's a registration form. I'm going to steal yours really quick. I need everyone to pull this out. At the top, I need everyone in the room to put your name, email, and phone number at the top. That's for me. I need that information for me. Some of you use it for notes. Awesome. We can give you that back.
I have a few blanks for you. Who needs?
Yeah.
Raise your hand if you use it as a notepad and you need a blank. We have some blanks. We have a couple.
Raise your hand, Kim.
They're up here. It's this row. Now, if you want to be here next month, under section 1, please check the box if you want to be here. And I'll send you an email in the next couple of days to remind you to put it in your calendars. Unless you have your calendar with you. Below under section 2, if any of you want any information on some of the different coaching programs I have coming up, just check the box at the bottom and I'll get in touch with you over the next couple of days and we can set up a time to talk and I can explain the different programs to you. So take a quick moment to fill this out completely and then I'll let you know about our next conversation.